Hi readers, it's Lori. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video topic, which is nonfiction flights. I was recently inspired to do this video. Several other people have done bookish flights on their channels. I was inspired to do this video essentially recently because my daughters and one of my sort of adopted daughters, as a result of her being my daughter's best friend, went to have brunch together in the city, and they had a flight of mimosas, a mimosa flight. I would not necessarily have a mimosa flight, but I might have a Bloody Mary flight for brunch. But anyway, it got me to thinking about these flights of books and how books, really pair together well. And during Nonfiction November, that's actually really true. So if you wanted to continue or start Nonfiction November and look at some related books that you could read, I have a bunch of them for you. Because there are so many, I'm not going to go over them in great detail, but essentially most of them are kind of self-explanatory just by either the author, in the case of memoir and autobiography, or in the case of the topic. So let's get started. So the first stack I'm bringing forward today is actually a stack that doesn't belong to me, but is in our library. These were chosen by Lisa. So the first one is Temple Grandin's Animals Make Us Human, Creating the Best Life for Animals. Co-author is Katherine Johnson, who both wrote Animals in Translation. Temple Grandin is a unique individual. If you don't know anything about her, I would look it up because she's incredible. I love that Lisa has this great bookmark in this, but that's an aside. Okay, so how do you give your animal the best life? Shows us surprising new ways to make our pets and other animals happy. Perfect, perfect, especially for us as we are fostering all the time. Tell Me Where It Hurts by Dr. Nick Trout is a book about a day of humor, healing, and hope in my life as an animal surgeon. Sounds really good to me. Inside of a Dog, What Dogs See, Smell, and Know by Alexandra Horowitz. I love this dog. And so this one is, again, kind of a look into what dogs' behavior tells us and what we can assume is happening within them based on some research and studies that people have done on dogs. So that's great. And then here's another one, Decoding Your Dog. You can see there's a theme here, right? The ultimate experts explain common dog behaviors and reveal how to prevent or change the unwanted ones. This is written by the American College of Veterinary Behaviorists and was edited by Deborah Horowitz, John Sirabasi, and Steve Dale, who are all veterinarians. I love this dog too. I do think that this is important. As Lisa and I foster dogs, we've gotten, stop, speaking of fostering dogs, a little bit of a ruckus came out. As we foster these dogs, we realize that we've gotten to know our dogs very, very well. We know their habits, we know their language, we know their moods and when they're sick and not sick. But we are always getting to know the foster dogs in a short period of time. Sorry for the glare. So these are really fun and important if that is something that resonates with you. Sorry, I have a sneeze coming on and it just won't do what I need it to do. Okay. There are 4 memoirs that I'm bringing forward to you that I think might be interesting for you to take a look at, and they kind of correlate. You'll see why in a moment. I got this one a while back. It was at a little free library or maybe at my library sale, and this one is about Flea. And I don't really love the title of this, but yeah, so I'm going to read you the back of it. If you don't know who Flea is, you certainly can look him up, but he's a singer. I think he's from Australia originally, but he's the founder of the band Red Hot Chili Peppers. So what it says on the back is, there once was a small blonde Australian boy. He loved his dog. Life picked him up and shook him all around, stumbling and bumbling, blindfolded and searching. He fell in love with the truly beautiful things. Sweet hearts warmed him with their love glow. Other hearts failed him. Feeling disconnected, out into the street he ran, looking for relief. In the process, he did things to dim his own heart light. A cold darkness of fear grew within. But in that scary place, music, the voice of God, spoke, telling him to share her voice on this earth. He was swept up in the glory Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that one. I really do want to get to it. It's why I bought it, even though I don't love the title. The next one that is exciting to me and goes well with Acid for the Children is Dave Grohl's memoir, The Storyteller. Dave Grohl is the founder of Foo Fighters, one of my favorite bands of all time, and he's one of my favorite people of all time, favorite musicians as well. And so this one tells the story of his life and his entering into this community, but also some other things that he really bring him joy and how he lives his life. So super excited for that one. This one is a little different because it takes a person who we maybe admire and want to read more about, but it also focuses on one sort of aspect of her life. This one is written by Dolly Parton and co-written by Holly George Warren and Rebecca Seaver. And it's called Behind the Seams, My Life in Rhinestones. I didn't want to get that wrong. This one came out in October. I didn't talk about it in my most anticipated, but when I looked at it again, I thought this might be fun. So it does really focus on her fashion style, which is very unique, as you know, if you've ever followed Dolly Parton. I am not a big country music fan, but I am a fan of Dolly Parton. And I really do think it would be fun to just sort of see how she's collected all of these things, how she's developed this style. But I think it does have some more information in it about her, you know, kind of the evolution of her style as well as her music and other parts of her life. So it sounds like a fun one as well. And then the last one I'm going to need to really have some help lifting is My Name is Barbara. I talked about this in Most Anticipated, but this one is holy cow big, but it is also about a singer songwriter and her journey from, you know, the beginning of her roots until now. And it probably goes into a lot of her life. I have discovered from people reading it that it really does talk about all of her relationships, including, I think she had a relationship with Pierre Trudeau, which is kind of it's kind of overlapping with the book I'm reading now about Matthew Perry, because Pierre Trudeau was the person his mom worked for. So this one could be a lot of great fun. So that's 4 singers, songwriters for you. The next 4 are celebrities. And again, I won't go into much more detail about these. I said I wouldn't, and look what I did, but these are kind of standalones. I would say these people are famous enough that you should know about who they are. So the first one is Viola Davis's memoir, which I have been wanting to read for a while, and I think I'm going to get on Scribd. This one is called Finding Me. And if you don't know, Viola Davis is a famous actress, and I love, love, love her work. On and off again with the glasses today. Cicely Tyson, award-winning actress. Also, her memoir is called Just As I Am. That one is really intriguing to me too, because I've watched Cicely Tyson since I was a younger person, for sure. She's been around a really long time. Henry Winkler memoir, which I did talk about before, and we do have, although Lisa is reading it, so she's taken it to work with her today. But I have watched Henry Winkler since the early days of Happy Days, and he has really created a seamless career for himself. A lot of people who have that early stardom in a kind of blockbuster series that runs a long time don't go on to do other things, but he really has, and I enjoy watching him do some other things too. What are we watching now that he's doing? What in the world is it called? Oh, it's has one word. What is it called? It has that guy I'm not really a fan of, but Henry Winkler is his acting coach. And the last one in this flight is Betty White's memoir before she passed away, called If You Ask Me, and of course you won't. And this one is about her life and her loves and her experiences and those things that we can really learn from. These next few are also celebrities, but I put them together in this flight because they have sort of a trajectory that, I don't know, it seems like fit. So we'll just go with that because I chose them. So one of them is Waypoints by Sam Heughan, who is on Outlander, the series, and some other movies that we've really enjoyed. He is Scottish, and he takes you through this journey of this walk that he does, but also tells you the story of his life on the way. I did enjoy that a good bit. Troublemaker by Leah Remini is about her life in Scientology and really a little bit about her growing up as well, but she certainly is very vocal, and this book tells you a lot about her experience in that faith. Jeanette McCurdy has a book called I'm Glad My Mom Died, which is a controversial title, but I'm hearing a lot of people are reading this book and liking it. And it also talks about her journey into stardom as a younger person and her pathway along this life trajectory, as well as her relationship with her mom. So the points of kind of intersection with that and how that changed her life. And the other one is called Making It So by Patrick Stewart, who has been in the acting profession for so long. Sorry, but he is an older guy. But I think it's about the waypoints essentially for him and the journey of beginnings as a Shakespearean author to, to some Marvel movies and some other things. So he's had a lot of different intersections and made some choices along the way that I thought were incredibly unique. So I would like to read this too. All right. And if famous political people or people who are involved in politics excites you, I have a flight for that too. And then I have I have a pairing to go with the flight if you're having brunch with a friend and your friend doesn't want a flight. How's that? All right. So the first one is Spare by Prince Harry. I read this earlier in this year, and it really does talk about his life as a child. It talks about how his life significantly changed forever by the loss of his mom in a tragic accident, how his relationship to the crown really does impact his life and has impacted his life in such a way that he's really stepped away from that experience with them in England. And so it was fascinating to me, and I did enjoy it. I listened to it on Audible. A book I got for my son a few years ago, and I do want to get to and read. And again, one of my goals, spoiler alert, for 2024 is to read more nonfiction again, but I'm really going to focus on it diligently. So this one is called Decision Points, and it's by George W. Bush. And I have really always been curious about, because I feel like we've gotten a different experience of him as a leader and as an individual than we maybe got in the White House. And there could be a lot of things that go into that, especially what was happening at that time. Maybe the press that he was getting wasn't particularly favorable. Maybe he was overwhelmed. Who knows? I mean, he had a lot of overwhelming things that happened during his presidency. One in particular that changed our country forever. Nevertheless, I do want to read this memoir. I worked for the government during his father's administration, and I am curious about how he describes his time in the White House and his administration and maybe his life now. So that one is one that I would like to grab from my son's bookshelves at some point when I'm ready. I think it's a pretty chunky one too. Another one is a chunky one, Promised Land by Barack Obama. Maybe not quite as big as Barbara. No, but close. It's close. I probably will listen to this one if he reads it because I love his voice, actually. But it would be fun, I think, to read these back to back, right? So read the decision points first and then read Barack Obama's. That might be a fun challenge for me, and perhaps I'll vlog that. And the last one is Profiles in Courage by John F. Kennedy. This is the only book written by President Kennedy, and it did win a Pulitzer Prize. This is an old copy, obviously. I got this at a library book sale because I did want to read it. And I will read you the synopsis on the front because I think it tells it all. So in this remarkable book, the President of the United States writes brilliantly about a handful of American statesmen who, at crucial times in our history, risked their personal and public lives to do the one thing that seemed in itself right. Okay, short, easier than the others I have mentioned, and that would be a great flight. Wanted a similar pairing. I recently acquired The Light We Carry by Michelle Obama. I have read Becoming by Michelle Obama. I recommend both of them. So if that's something that you're interested in, that would be a nice pairing for you, but that's a whole nother video. Maybe I'll do a pairing video soon too, but this is my flight video for today. I hope you enjoyed this. I think I will enjoy some of these flights in the next year or so, maybe longer. And let me know what you would put together as a flight or a pairing if you were doing this video. That's my question for you today. And if you like this video, you can put a little emoji of a drink. I'm noticing a lot of YouTubers are saying put an emoji in the comments below. So put a drink emoji in there, whichever drink you really love. And I will see you soon with some more videos, maybe a couple more about nonfiction before the month ends. I'm really enjoying Nonfiction November. Hope you are too. And as always, happy reading. Bye.